Good morning, Harden here, back with yet another Eve Echoes video. Done a few recently because of the Illusory Ghost event, which has just finished this morning, or this morning my time. So I thought I would take the opportunity to give you a quick update on my I'm back down in 0.0 and give you a quick update on my ship, my fitting, and how I do the kind of T10s currently. The other thing is, with the Illusory Ghost, I managed to pick up quite a few. There was a kind of some nice bonuses through the corporation thing where you can pick up some of those kind of Nanocore items. So I was able to do some nice upgrades on my Raven Nanocores. So I'm just going to jump out of here at the moment. You can see there I'm currently training. Actually, I'll just jump back in just to quickly give you an overview on the skills so you can see what I'm doing on that. At the moment I'm on doing Expert Medium Missile upgrade level 5, and then I'm going to be doing Expert Medium Drone Operation level 5. Again, there's only a marginal benefit to these. I'm not using medium missiles, but they do give an extra second on your ballistic control, so your ballistic control will work that little bit longer. So I think once I've finished this skill, I will have actually completed all the missile skills from small to large to expert level, and that gives me about, I think, 43, or it should be 43 or 44 seconds worth of time on my ballistic control units. Now that is not as good as it was before the nerf, because before they used to cycle that much faster, so you've got a lot more benefit out of it, but it's still a nice bonus. And I've not been that interested in carriers or capitals, primarily because I don't play enough to actually earn the good money that you need to buy them and actually get the maximum benefit out of it. So I still haven't been attracted to capitals, and I'm not planning to move to them anytime soon. So I thought I will just continue to focus on getting squeezing any extra benefit out of my Ravens as I can. So that's why I'm doing these kind of skills currently. I'll just pop into the kind of missile skill so you can quickly just see this here. So you can see the Small Torpedo Operation 5, Advanced Small Torpedo 5, Expert Small Torpedo 5, and I'm not going to read all of them out, but you can see as I go down here, they are all at 5. I'm doing the Expert now. That one, I've got another 20 something days left, I'm not sure. And then you get the whole way up to the Expert Large Missile Torpedo upgrade. That was an 85-day skill, although thankfully, due to various things like your advanced the Concord Pass, all the extra skill points out of those, your kind of the other things where you get the extra skill points, whatever, I can't remember the name, basically kind of sped it up a lot. And also I recently did the Road to Set Sail, which provided another 300,000 skill points. So so basically it said 85 days, but it didn't take that much time, but it's still a major investment in skills. And then on the drone side of things, you can see here I've just gone with medium drone, so I've got medium drone here. The next skill will be Expert Medium Drone, which will give me an extra 2% damage on there, and then I'm going to be doing Expert Medium Drone there. That one also an extra 2% damage. That'll be the next one after my current skill queue, and then I've also got these, and I have got that up to Expert already because it gives some nice extra speed. And you can probably ask why I'm only doing medium drones, and that's because on the Raven, basically drones only provide a little bit of additional DPS. I mean, you can only kind of fit 2 drones, and I would rather have medium drones that will help me clear off a tackle, like a interceptor or whatever. I would rather have a couple of drones that would do that rather than some large drones that would just provide a little bit of extra DPS when I'm doing the runs. So I'd rather keep the medium drones, and again, I'm specializing in those. I'm going to get these finished. I think with the Valkyries can now fly at 3,000 meters a second with my skills as they are with this Expert level 5 here. So they really do, especially because I'm flying in a fleet of 3, so you've got 6 Valkyries doing 3,000 meters a second, really tends to kind of put inties and other kind of really fast ships off. So that's kind of one of my defensive measures there. So you can see the drones. After that, I'm not sure. Maybe I will start training for capitals, but currently that's kind of my thought process there with the skills, is just get those marginal benefits. And then if I jump into the actual ship itself, Oh, sorry, I think here it's in the way. So jump into the ship itself. So you can see here, currently I've got 3,362 DPS, and that is cold. So purely cold DPS on this Raven. And the other thing to flag up is these are all C-types. Well, they're almost all C-types. So you can see here the DPS here, the highest one there is 915 for the thermal damage, because I've got on my Nanocore, I've got a little extra bonus for that. And also for, I think it's the kinetic there, I'm not sure if it's kinetic or explosive, but you can see 915 on the Pitham C-type. You can see in terms of the fit, I've got 2 ballistic controls, which I cycle, and then I've got a tracking computer, a missile guidance computer, which ups the range on this ship to around 30 and a half kilometers, which again, if you're warping in at 0, pretty much everything will be within range. I mean, occasionally you'll get one ship that will drift out, but with the tracking computer inactive, you get that 30.56 range on torpedoes. And if you do activate it, it jumps up to about 45 kilometers. So it does let you hit absolutely everything. Again, you've got a long cycle cooldown on the missile guidance computer, so it does take a bit of a while. And then in the mid slots, actually, let me talk about the tank a little bit as well. So the tank is just 1 large shield booster and 2 hardeners, and again, these are just kind of standard sort of Steez type stuff, so nothing too special. But you can see on the defense here now, I have got 150,000 EHP, and that's again obviously with no hardeners active, and you can see 55,791 shield hit points, because I have actually trained the shield skills to maximum now, and I've also trained the defense, the battleship defense skill to expert level 5 as well, which was another big investment. But going back onto the DPS side of things, and this is my next path of upgrades, is actually my launchers. And again, the issue is again, I don't play enough time to really splash out and go too crazy, but I am starting to upgrade these. So this you can see here is a Pith C type, but I have actually fitted, and that was 915 was the max damage there on one of those. I have actually invested in 1 Pith B, and you can see here the max damage here has jumped up from 915 to 960, which is quite a significant increase. So if I can get to a point where I can replace all the C types with B types, I think the overall damage on this ship will be pushing I would have said probably 3,500 cold DPS, maybe even a bit more. So that's my next thing to upgrade. In terms of the low slots, here you can see these are just the standard kind of combination of damage mods. So you've got the Warhead Calefaction, so 17.5 damage bonus. Then you've got the Bay Loading Accelerator, and you've got the Bay Loading Accelerator, which kind of increases the fire rate. And then these are just kind of cap mods. You can see here my capacitor is very stable. I will at some point do Battleship Engineering level 5, which will give me an extra 2% cap. But as it stands, I can run everything on the ship constantly. In terms of this particular setup, I can run everything constantly. The shield booster running constantly, the hardeners running constantly, the missile launchers, everything else running constantly, and I will never run out of cap. In fact, I barely go under 45% cap when I'm running everything. So this is why when I was doing the PvP arena, this ship was quite effective, because even when you came up against some of those people with NOS and neutralizers, the ship would last a long time, particularly as the missile launchers don't use cap. So you could sustain your tank for a long time, where it kind of surprised a lot of people. And then finally, the other kind of secret to this ship is the Nanocore, which I have now pretty much upgraded in terms of the different areas to the maximum. This last one here has some potentially nice bonuses. There is one down here. There's all the small, but I could, for instance, do a small torpedo. So not small. Let's see. Is it scrolling? Okay, it seems to have got stuck there. let's exit out of that. But anyway, in terms of the other bonuses here, you obviously get the standard 18% is the level 1. I then got the 8.66 missile torpedo damage there. Then capacitor is a good one, 10.64 is a very nice bonus on the capacitor bank of the ship, which is another reason why it's so sustainable. I then got the missile torpedo thermal damage, 9.53%. I then got an 8.9% bonus on shield, which again makes the ship much more tanky. And then I've also, just the last one I did was this missile torpedo kinetic damage, which I have now pushed up to 9.53%, pretty much investing all my Conqueror Pass points from the beginning of the game into doing this. So I haven't actually unlocked any other nanocores. I have just focused particularly on this one and trying to get this one as good as possible, and I really am not going to put that much more into it. The only thing I think probably may be worthwhile is pushing the shield up a bit. I think the shield here, I can't see. Well, yeah, the shield I can't show you for some reason. There's this option to replace, and I don't want to click that right now. So you can see the nanocore really significantly adds to the overall potency of this ship. And what I'll do is I'll quickly undock and just show you in terms of the defense once I'm outside the station. Just check my local on my other account, just make sure that's looks okay. It doesn't look like there's anyone red around. Okay, so let me zoom in and stop the ship. Sorry for the potato graphics. Basically I'm working on a tablet and I have to go very low, otherwise it's super stuttery. So I'm going to turn my 2 hardeners on here, and if I jump in now to the fitting screen, you will see now that the tank has now, the defense has now jumped up to 223,000 EHP. You can see the EM resistance now on the shield is 57, thermal 69, kinetic 74, and explosive 78, which is pretty good, especially when you think that is combined with a DPS of 3,362 cold. And let me just quickly demonstrate on the DPS side. I'll just start one of those ballistic controls so you can see. If I jump in now, you can see that has now jumped up to 3,844. And again, I'll just quickly show you here while I'm doing this. You can see there the activation time is 43 seconds. So when I do that current skill I'm training, that will jump up to 44. So that bonus does last for quite a while, and I'm just going to stick the second one on. I don't normally activate them at the same time because you do lose out a little bit doing that. It's better to kind of run them consecutively. And again, if I jump in here, you can see now that DPS has jumped up to 4,310. Again, if I wasn't using this with torpedoes, I would probably have 3 ballistic controls on here, but as it stands, I have got this missile guidance computer, which is used to extend the range for, again, just in PVE, when you do get a spawn where there's a ship, like sometimes the battleships will drift out of range, and you can activate that. And if I just do that right now, just to demonstrate, so I've activated that. If I jump in here, I've got to be quick because this one doesn't actually last that long, and go onto one of these missile launchers. You can see the kilometer is now 45.88 kilometers, which is more than enough. And again, with those mid slots, I didn't show you what they were. I'll do that from here. Mid slots are basically 2 predators, which don't actually use that much because again, I warp in at 0, but most of the ships are beyond web range anyway, so I don't really use that, because especially on this account I tend to focus on the battleships and the battle cruisers, whereas I use my other ship for auto-targeting this closer stuff. And then 2 Republic fleet target painters as well, which really, one of the things people complain about torpedoes and missiles is they talk about how bad the damage application is, and actually I don't notice it. I don't see it. People just complain about it. I think this goes back to early days, and I don't think the kind of hive mind has kind of updated its views on this. But certainly from my perspective, the torpedoes, and especially since the recent patch which slowed all the ships down, the torpedoes work very well in applying their damage. I've got no complaints about that at all. So I'm just putting my missiles together, but obviously there's a pith Pith B type in there, that's why it won't group. So anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to quickly put on here mission. I'm going to undock my other two ships now. Just so you're aware, my other two ships are pretty much the same. They've got slightly less DPS because I haven't upgraded the Nanocore to quite the same extent, and they haven't quite finished all the skills that I have on my main account. But they're in a similar sort of ballpark. They're all above 3,300 DPS, but all kind of set up the same way. I'm just trying to see if there's anything. Well, it doesn't look like I can show you a large because there's none here, but I will show you a medium T10 anomaly and just how quickly we can do those. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my tank on. As I said, this is one of the nice things about this is that basically it's 100% cap stable. So you can turn on your tank and you don't have to worry about it. You can just leave it on there or just leave it running and you will still have plenty of cap. So let's jump into one of these mediums. No one in there, so we'll go fleet command, warp fleet, and we'll go in at 0, and then you can get an idea of how this works. I have actually been thinking about actually picking up another account and training it specifically just to fly a Noctis, because I do collect the loot that's in range on one of my accounts, but I can really mow through these T10s with this fleet very, very quickly, and I could be making a lot more money if I was collecting all the loot, but I don't bother. But I was thinking maybe if I get a fourth account, just try and get it to T8 as quickly as possible, get it into a Noctis, and just use that to follow my own fleet around. I'm going to switch on to PvP there just in case, although I think it's pretty quiet at the moment. And we'll just jump in here and we'll see how quickly you can run through a medium. It's just showing here, what time is it showing? 12:34. Okay, and it's like a fresh medium, that's good. So the first thing I do, all my 3 ships will all target the battleship first. So let's do that. Focus fire. Actually, that battleship is on the edge of the range, which is a bit annoying, but focus fire and then focus fire. Really, I target the battleship first to buy myself a little bit of time with all the other ships. I'm going to put on one of the ballistic controls, and then for this ship I'm going to go onto the Drake as the secondary target, and the same with my second ship is going to go onto the Drake, and again activate a ballistic there, activate a ballistic here. My third ship just auto targets whatever's closest, and I stick the webs on that. And then the other thing I always do here, and I know it's not necessary, but I always find it's useful, is just set orbit around the actual anomaly beacon. Because it does diminish a little bit of the incoming DPS and could be helpful if some enemy does come in here, some PV like player enemy. I mean, it's pretty much unnecessary. I could just sit there and do nothing, but again, it's something that's probably a good habit, so I like to do that. Okay, so there we go. So unfortunately all my ships seem to be targeting the same thing. I'm going to switch this guy onto the Manticore. Okay, Caracol, so you can see even the small stuff is going down quick, so I'm going onto the Manticore now. He's out of range of webs, but he's now got 6 target painters on him. And there you go, insta-pop. Okay, second wave. Here we go. So we're going to jump onto the Raven first, as I said. I always hit the Raven with all 3 ships, get the battleships off the field as quick as possible. And then I'm going to switch onto the Naga there, and switch onto the Naga there, and as I said, my third ship will just go onto whatever's closest and web it and kill it. And again, let's put the ballistic on there. Ballistic, just have to remember to keep turning the ballistics on, it just speeds things up a little bit. Okay, you can see my three Ravens there all circling the beacon. Okay, so we're onto the Naga now, and then what I will do is I will go for the next furthest, well, the furthest away target apart from the Naga, which is this Blackbird, and my second ship will go onto the Heron, which is a bit further. So again, one of the things that speeds this up a lot is making sure that you're not all hitting the same target. That first battleship is okay because it takes a few rounds, but if you're hitting the smaller ships with 3 ships, you're actually wasting some of your missiles, and you're wasting lock time and targeting time. It's better to try and split your fire across multiple targets so that they die that little bit quicker. Alright, so that's the second wave down, and here we go now into the third wave. Still only a single battleship on this, so still very easy. Where is the battleship? Okay, it's showing as a Cormorant, but it's actually a Rogue. And again, you can see easily within range. Sometimes the Rokes do kind of drift out a little bit, in which case then I would activate my missile guidance computer, missile tracking computer. And again, just let's go onto the Ferox after this. So as soon as that Roke dies, which is pretty rapidly, I'm hitting for 16k or more. And again, get the webs on my third account. And then after this Ferox, we will jump on to the... I'll go for the Corax there, and go for the Manticore there. So I just go for the stuff that's furthest away. So again, the other ship that's auto-targeting will always go for the closest stuff. So I'm trying to work from both ends. Take the furthest targets, take the closest targets, and kind of meet in the middle. Okay, and I can collect a little bit of loot. And as you can see, this stuff is popping super quick, and I haven't even turned my ballistic control on here. Yeah. There you go, so that Corax is down, so we're now on to wave 4 of 6 on this medium T10. Okay, this is where we've got multiple battleships, and again, now I do split my fire, so I do focus fire on the one that's furthest away, then my second one will go on the second Raven, focus fire. And then my third one will go on there's essentially 3 Ravens. I'm not sure. Okay, there we go. So I've got them all shooting a different Raven. Again, I'll turn my ballistic control on there, get that bit of extra damage. Extra 600 or so damage. Or DPS. And then after this, we will jump onto the Naga. And the same with this one. We'll jump onto the... maybe the Blackbird, and then this one will go on to this Caracal. So I haven't been watching here how much damage I'm doing onto this Raven, but you can see 16k hit there, which is pretty meaty. And yeah, the medium drones, obviously I'd be doing a bit more damage on those battleships and everything with the with large drones or with sentries. But again, I'm doing enough damage with my missiles. I don't need that little bit extra. I don't need to kill things that much faster. Really, as I said, the medium drones are there for helping kill the small stuff. So then that goes down. Actually, it's gone onto the smaller stuff. So I want to go for the furthest stuff away. So we've got a Heron there. And okay, that's in web range, so that just helps again apply the damage. But you can see even the small stuff is just popping super quick. There's the Cormorant, it's going pretty fast, but it's just dead. And then everybody's going onto the Heron now. So again, that's going to pop pretty quickly. There you go. And I think this is the final combat wave. There we go. Alright, so we've got a Roke there, we'll go for that first. And then on my other account, there's a Scorpion, focus fire, and then finally on my third account, it's a Scorpion, a Roke. I think we'll just go for the Scorpion. And again, ballistic on, ballistic on. You can see here, even though I'm only running 2 ballistics, I'm still keeping them up for a lot of the fight. So, as I said, if I was fighting something that I knew was definitely going to be in range, then I would take the tracking computer, or the missile guidance computer off and put another ballistic on there. But because certainly the tank is not bothered at all. And you can see that the last couple of waves of the medium are pretty much equivalent to what you get in the large. So you can see if you're not having any problems with the medium the last couple of waves, then you won't have any problems with the large either. Okay, and let's go on to that Roke. Oh, it's a Ferox actually, and we'll do that there as well. And then my other ship, again, let's put webs on because it is close enough. And webs on there. And you can see these things are going down quickly. Okay, so after that Roke, we'll go on to that Raven there. And this one will go on to, there's another Roke. There you go, continuing to circle. So we're onto the Raven, the other one's onto a Roke, and then my third ship is just killing some of the smaller stuff bit by bit with its webs, painters. And again, let's collect some loot while we're just doing this. As I said, at some point, I mean, I'm leaving 3/4 of the loot on the field. I'm only really getting the stuff that's close, so it's mainly the destroyers and the cruisers and the frigates that come in close. So I'm not even getting the battle cruisers or battleships. So at some point, yeah, I might make that investment in time. And let's go on to the Osprey when that's dead. Same here onto the Osprey. Okay. There we go. And now the final wave, which is just some of these transports. And I will actually approach these. So let's go focus. Oh, focus fire, approach. Focus fire, approach, and focus fire, approach. No need to stay at range with these guys or circle, because the other thing is I could be chasing spawns around and getting closer, which may be a reason not to have the missile guidance. But the problem is the spawns are often on different sides of the beacon. So if you go chasing one spawn, then the other spawn spawns on the other side of the beacon, you're even further away. So I find it's just better just to orbit the beacon and stay in the center. And then it's just approach there, and it's just turn off, reset the camera. So back to my murderous ravens, and this one will go down. And again, let's just collect a bit of loot here as I'm going. So there you go. So that's the end of that medium. It's gone pretty rapidly. As you can see, there's still quite a few cargo containers around, which I'm not going to get. Normally, again, I don't have so much time to play this. I'm not like someone who can play 24 hours, so I just normally play an hour or so at a time, in which case I would just jump in and do a bunch of these, and said don't bother collecting the loot. Unfortunately, all the largers in here have been killed, so I'm just going to grind a few more mediums. Anyway, thank you guys. I hope you have found that interesting. At least you can see how the Raven performs once you have skilled it up properly. I certainly wouldn't think about switching to a Mercurial or a Vindicator now. I kind of think if I'd done so at the beginning and focused on those the same way, they would probably be actually in a better position than the Raven. But certainly right now, if I wanted to change, I would have to spend a huge amount of Lazarus points, and probably way more Lazarus points than I've actually got, and skill retraining, and the Nanocores. Oh my god, the amount I've invested into the Nanocores on these Ravens, and I think the performance is certainly when I was doing the PvP arena, I was just eating Mercurials and Vindicators for breakfast, and maybe they are better in PvE, but these Ravens I think are a match for them. But again, we'll see, and yeah, it's too late to change now. But yeah, I think the next thing will be the capitals. I'll go on to once I've got these finished to the extent I want. Anyway, I hope that was useful. I hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, please do like and subscribe. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye.